Hey, what's up? It's Dr. Green, and we're about to dive right into Facebook ads. I wanted to kind of guys show you a little bit of Facebook backend. So using business Facebook, so business.facebook.com is where you want to go. If you don't have an account with business Facebook, you want to set one up. It's pretty easy. You're just going to log in with your normal Facebook login. It'll ask you to attach a page, create a business manager, and then create your first ad account. You can name them basically whatever you want, but ultimately, these are where you're going to be creating and running your ads through. The reason why they have you set it up this way now versus you're using your traditional login is because they want to keep you protected. If you were to work with an ad agency, you would want to be able to give access to your Facebook business page, but you wouldn't want to give away your personal login credentials. And so this is Facebook's solution to that. They created the business manager. So I'm going to go ahead and log in and show you guys around a little bit. So if you don't have an account, you're just going to hit create an account right there. But I'm just going to go ahead and log in. And we're going to jump right into Business Manager. So if you don't have one, you'll create a Business Manager. I'm just going to go ahead and use the one I have. If you've got one already, then just select the one you'd like. You can have 2 business managers per business Facebook account. So anytime you create a Facebook profile, you can create a business manager. You can actually create 2. You can create 2 business managers per personal login, and then within each business manager, you can have 5 ad accounts that Facebook gives you right out of the gate. If you need more, like if you're an ad agency, you can request more and go through that process. But for most people, it's going to be more than enough. And so I'm going to go ahead and dive into our actual ad account and show you guys what we've got. All right, so right here you can see I've got my Facebook chiropractic campaign pulled up right in front of us. And so right here across the top, you can see campaign, ad sets, and ads. So campaign is the objective. What are you trying to accomplish? Your ad set is your settings, your targeting, who you want to see the ad, and then the ads themselves are what the person is actually going to see. And that's going to be the images, the copy, the headlines, what kind of button you want, and whatever links you want to place in there. And so we're going to just go through the existing campaign that I have right now. It's actually up and running. We are running a campaign right now. So just so you know, this is a real thing. I do actually run these campaigns for myself. As you can see right here, we've got 131 leads that have come in at about $10 a lead. So we spent about $1,400 on this account. And so what a lead is someone that's signed up for an offer that we've created and given us their name, email, and phone number. And so $10 to get someone to give us their name, email, and phone number. It's actually really cheap. So imagine giving an employee $100 and they went out and got you 10 contacts, name, email, and phone number that were interested in coming into your practice for an offer. So it's pretty good. So if we go in and look at the campaign, the objective is the first step. So anytime you start building a campaign, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select your objective. Now, the goal of the objective is to get leads, right? We want to get people that are going to sign up for your offer. And so Facebook knows those types of people based off their previous habits. And so anytime you set up a campaign from the beginning with Facebook for these types of campaigns, these chiropractic offers, you want to go for conversions. That should be your objective right out of the gate. I'll show you what that looks like. So if I were to set up a campaign from scratch, I just go right here to create. All right, so first page that pops up is going to give us our campaign, our ad set, and our ads, this little flow chart checklist that it goes through for us. And so right here is what we're going to select conversion. So there's different schools of thought on this. Some people will suggest you start with traffic. I find that it's a waste unless you're going to be running a national campaign. You can skip the traffic campaign and go straight to a conversion. The reason why people suggest doing a traffic campaign first is to get Facebook's algorithm up to speed, the pixel seasoned, so to speak, and so your conversions are better. But because you're going to be running a local targeted campaign, there's no need to set up a traffic campaign. So you're just going to select right out of the gate, you're going to go for conversions. This is going to be your objective. Once you select your objective, at the bottom it's going to ask you a couple different options. You can change the name here, so I'm just going to put chiropractic offer test. You want to name this whatever you want, and you can rename it later. Don't want to really mess with the split testing and budget optimization until you get a little bit better and a little bit more comfortable running Facebook ads. I typically don't use them at all, so if that says anything. So once you get the campaign completed, you're going to get a little check mark right over here, and then you're going to go on to ad set. Ad set is basically, again, it's your targeting. It's who do you want to see your campaign. And so right up at the top, the way that you name ad sets, you want to be able to name it something that you can identify it quickly. And so this is a little trick that we use. So typically what we do is we start with naming the ad set based off of the city first that we're running the ad in. So I might say Annapolis, or I may say Cairo, and then I'll put my city name. And then I'm going to put the radius. And so anytime you start a new campaign, typically they limit the smallest radius to 10 miles until you've run ads for a little while, and then they'll allow you to make it smaller. It all depends on the population density. So if I were to name it whatever I want, I can leave it at that for now. When you go to conversions is the first setting, you want to select lead. So we're going to go lead. And so this has to do with a pixel. I'm going to show you in a separate video how to set up a pixel and where that setting is. So lead is the first step. Don't have to mess with offer. The audience is who's going to see the offer, right? So create new is typically where most people are going to start, unless you have a saved audience, which you probably don't. You're going to hit create new. And what you're going to do is you're going to select your location. So you don't want everyone in this location. You actually want to select people that live in the location. You don't want to waste your money targeting people that are just visiting. You're going to close off the United States, which is default, and you're going to type in your city. So if you just start typing in city, it'll pop up. You select it. And then from here, it's going to give you, it defaults to usually 25 miles. So you can select that and drop the radius down. So for this, it's only going to let me go to 10. Once I start running these campaigns, I'm able to make that smaller all the way down to 1 mile. But typically 10 miles is pretty good. 10 to 15 miles for chiropractic offices is usually pretty good. If you're in a more rural area, you may want to up it a little bit. But typically, if you're, typical practice, you want someone that's going to be able to come in 2 to 3 times a week, especially in the beginning. So if they're more than 10 miles away, you're going to be getting people leads and getting them in the door. But they're probably not going to be as good a quality leads as if the person lived 5 miles away. So 10 miles. Age range. This is important to make sure that you're targeting your ideal demographic, or what I call an avatar. So an avatar is basically if you could describe the perfect patient for your practice, this is where you are able to put those details in. For most practices, when I run campaigns, I typically start 30 to 60 years old or 30 to 55 years old. And I personally typically will target women because more women will opt in than men, and so my cost per conversion is lower, so it costs me less. But if you want a well-rounded practice of men and women, you can select all, and it will target both of them. The problem with selecting all out of the gate with Facebook is going to start running the ads towards men and women, but as soon as it sees a pattern, it's going to gear the ads towards one or the other. And so I typically would suggest, if you want to run traffic for men and women, you'd actually create 2 ad sets. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So you create the rest of the ad set out. So I'm going to leave it at all 30 to 60. So we're going to target both men and women. You don't have to mess with language. Detailed targeting. So this is something that if you want to be able to avoid the tire kickers and the deal seekers, one of the ways you can do that, as of right now, at the time of recording this video, is you can target people based off income. And so this metric is going to be going away soon. Facebook's removing it. But for now, you can still take advantage of it, hopefully, if you're watching this video. And so you just type in income, and you're going to get some demographics that pop up. And so you can see right here, it says financial income, 50,000 to 75,000, 74,999. People in households have an estimated household income between 50,000 and 75,000. And so you can target people that have money. And this is obviously important because you want to try to avoid deal seekers. Now, if you don't mind people coming in and wasting your time and looking for deals like on Groupon or Living Social, then by all means leave it wide open. But I would encourage you to select the income range that of people you want to see. So I typically will select everything above 50,000. There's only one below it, and it's 40 to 49, and then obviously the ones that don't report at all. But I want to make sure that the people that are coming in have income. Sometimes when I want to refine my searches, and I don't, if I'm trying to get a lot of leads because I want to bring a bunch of volume in, I'll leave it at 50,000 and up. If I want to create maybe an offer that costs a little bit more but is still a really good deal, I may select 75,000 and higher. So it's a more qualified lead, a more qualified buyer, and my numbers and conversions will be down a little bit on the front end, but the conversions will be higher on the back end. So I'll have less people to weed through. It just depends on you and what your practice can handle. But if I were to select income out of the gate, I would just go ahead and select one of those. And then an easy way to do this is just to hit suggestions, and they're going to pop right back up, and you can just select the rest of them. All right, so I've got all of my income metrics in. Other metrics that you can explore are things like pain relief. Here, you could explore people that are interested in holistic approaches, holistic health, alternative medicine. So these are ones that you can play around with, but I find that it really doesn't matter. You can actually just leave it as is, and you're going to get more than enough qualified leads. So I'm just going to leave that alone. All right. Another way that you can refine is if you wanted to target people based off of income and you wanted them to also carry another unique characteristic, so they'd have both, you can type in here where it says and must also match at least one of the following. So this is going to make sure that the person that sees your ad has to make this much money and be interested in this. So I typically will keep them separate if I do decide to put anything in here. But again, for a chiropractic funnel campaign up front out of the gate, you don't need to mess with this. You're going to get, again, more than enough qualified leads. Right here, 60,000 people. That's a pretty good amount of people. It's what you want. Typically, you want to get at least 10 up to 70,000 people, 80,000 people. If it's bigger than that, you want to try to refine your targeting if you can. Right here, I could uncheck the expand interests. In the beginning, you don't really need it. Later on, if you felt like your ads weren't performing as well, you could go back in and create another ad set, duplicate it, and then check that box. And it's basically, Facebook's going to start making your ads appear in front of people that don't fit your criteria, but may be interested in converting and becoming a lead based off of their history. Connection type. So this is an important one. Typically, if you're running an offer on Facebook, you don't want to run it to people that already like your page, because the people that typically like your page are already patients. So most of the time, I will exclude people that like my page. So once you select that, it's going to make you add your page. So you just type in the name of your page. Okay, and so to save you time, if you wanted to create another campaign later, you can actually just save this audience, right? So this is an audience. If you go right here to save the audience, you can put in whatever you want. So you can put Chiro campaign 1, right? Hit save. And now anytime I go to create another chiropractic campaign, or if I wanted to target the same people, I can just select that as an option from the top. Use a saved audience, and then I can select Chiro campaign 1. So you can see I've got quite a few saved audiences that I use. Placements, this one again is kind of like one of those things that a lot of people argue about. I tend to prefer editing my own placements because I want to make sure the ads are going into places where I feel like the conversions are highest. And it's not based off what I feel, it's actually based off the data that I get back from Facebook. So I've ran ads before where automatic placements were in play, and I found that all of the leads were coming from the newsfeed. So very, very, very few came from any other placement. I'll show you what I mean by that. So you can run automatic placements, and Facebook's going to choose where your ads go, or you can edit your own. I like to edit my own. I would recommend that you do as well. And so these are all the different platforms and placements that are available for Facebook to play around with. The problem is a lot of these aren't usable yet. They're not, or they're usable, but they're not highly effective. They don't convert as high. So you end up wasting your money. So for right now, Messenger's still very new. Not enough people are using it to make it reliable. So I always turn that one off. Audience network, I turn this one off as well. And if you have a good Instagram following, you can use it, especially if you want to target a younger audience. But I would create a separate ad set for that. I would create an ad set that is built around maybe a 25 to 40-year-old range, and I would run Instagram ads on that. I would not group them together. I would create two separate ad sets and two mini campaigns basically. So I typically take Instagram off if I'm targeting chiropractic and the age range that I selected. If I created another one, I could create one specifically for Instagram. I could select a younger age range, and I could select a specific budget for that. Now, as far as Facebook, I typically only run it on the feed. So the actual scroll feed on Facebook, where everybody is scrolling through. So it wouldn't hang off to the right over on the side. It would just be right down the middle. Okay, so that's the one that I select. As far as device types, mobile and desktop, you can select to do all devices, which again, it recommends, but same thing. I find that the large majority, probably 9 out of 10 leads come in through mobile platform. More and more people are on their phone. You know, last year around this time, more people were converting on desktop. All my leads were converting through desktop, very few on mobile. Now it's actually switched completely to the other side. More and more people are on their phone, and they're taking action. They're inputting information. They're opting in. They're buying products and services on their phone. So you can leave it at all devices, but what's going to happen is Facebook's very early on. They're going to choose to basically target everything on mobile, and you'll be able to see that on your metrics. But I would just select mobile if you were starting out. If you wanted to, another thing you could do right away would be to create two ad sets, one for mobile, one for desktop. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to uncheck desktop, and I'm just going to keep it on mobile. So everything's set up there. Don't have to mess with connected to Wi-Fi. Now, this is something that happens quite often. So anytime you go and you mess with the device types, Facebook likes to throw you an elbow jab and reset your platforms. So you have to go back in and turn them all off again. So all mobile devices is fine. You can leave that one alone. The budget. So budget's going to be important. Now, for some of you, it's going to be scary to put money into an account and start running ads because there's no guarantee, right? But you need to spend money to make money. You have to spend money to collect data. So you have to look at those initial dollars as data. You're getting feedback. You're paying for really, really good data. So I recommend $30 a day minimum. You can go as low as you want, around $5 a day, but you're not going to get data back enough to know if your ads are working or not. So I recommend $20 to $30 minimum. $100 a day, if you've got the budget for it, is a great number to start at. And you start running ads, and you'll see very quickly what's working, what's not. Okay, so I'll just set this at 30, which is what I would recommend. A $30 a day budget's about $1,000 a month in ad spend, and so that's typically on the low end when I work with clients. It's about what I'm spending is about $1,000 a month on ads, and it does really well. So run ads continuously. So it's exactly what you do. You don't want to mess with when the ads are running. Facebook's good about making sure they run the ads at the right time. And plus, you'd be surprised how many people are up at 3 in the morning and will opt into your offer, or on the weekends, or at 3 a.m. It's insane. But people will they're on Facebook all the time for whatever reason. So just let it run around the clock. The rest of this kind of just stays the same. So you're opting for conversions. 7 days click or 1 day view is your conversion window. So basically, if someone were to click on the ad, within 7 days, if they opted in, Facebook's going to track it. You want to keep it at lowest cost. Don't worry about the bid cap. You're going to get charged per impression, which is basically when people are pausing and seeing it on their feed, which is normal. Good to go. So we are done with our campaign. We've got our objectives set up. We've got our ad set in place, and now we're going to build out the ad. All right, so we are about to build the ad out. So at the top, you can name the ad whatever you want. A lot of times I'll just name it whatever the first few lines are of the ad, if I run different ad copy or headlines or text. So I'm going to put attention Annapolis up here, and then I'm going to put image because I'm going to be running an image ad versus a video ad. So I've got Annapolis Pain Management as my page that I'm running it on. So make sure that if you have multiple pages within your account that you've got the right page selected. And then Instagram placement, I'm not running ads on Instagram, so I don't have to worry about it. If I selected Instagram to run, I want to make sure that this matches the page. As far as the format, carousel works great, and so does simple image. Videos work great, slideshows work great. They all actually work really well, just depending on how much time and energy you want to put into it. For the sake of this video, simple images work just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and go with a simple image. So once you select your image, you don't want to mess with the full screen experience, and you're just going to go down. Images right here, you want to upload your own. You don't want to use Facebook stock images because for whatever reason, Facebook screens its own images and they don't produce as well. I've actually pulled images extremely similar offline and then run them next to Facebook ads that the same ads, same copy, same targeting, same everything. And I find that the images that I pulled from other sources other than Facebook always do better no matter what. So I would recommend uploading your own videos. For the sake of running a chiropractic campaign, I strongly recommend taking a picture of yourself performing a sham adjustment. Whatever your practice style is, if you do a lot of diversified, or if you do Thompson, or if you do TRT, it doesn't really matter. But you want to show the doctor engaging with a patient, and it's going to match up to the ad copy that I'm going to recommend using as well. So I like to use images of showing me actually giving an adjustment or showing me treating. It relates really well with the patient. Other options are showing your demographic. So a lot of times, like I said, I like to target women specifically in my ads. I will make sure that the image is of a woman of the same age range that I'm trying to target. And I always like to try to see the woman's face. All the research shows that women, or men, sorry, not men or women actually, but people are drawn to other people's faces. And so if you show an image of the back of someone's head, it doesn't do as well as if you show an image of someone's face. It could be the same person. It always does better when you can see their face. And so when you search online, using stock photos or even just doing a Google search and finding uncopyrighted video or uncopyrighted images, just make sure you're getting creative with your searches. But I would just encourage you to take a picture of yourself, have a staff member take a picture of you delivering a sham adjustment. Other types of images that work really well are pictures of x-rays actually. So we're in the chiropractic field, we work with the spine, we work with the joints, and we're so used to seeing x-rays all the time, we kind of take it with a grain of salt. But most people aren't familiar with seeing x-rays all the time. And so running an x-ray up on a Facebook ad draws a lot of attention. And so I've had a lot of success with that one. So I'm going to show you a couple of the images that I've used that have worked really well. So images like showing the spine. This is an MRI view. I'll kind of add a few more. So this image right here does really well. I talked about I'm targeting women, and I'm targeting women of a certain age, and I also want to see their face. So this image has done really well for me. It's just a picture of someone with their hands on a woman's neck. She's laterally flexed to the side, and the person behind her is just palpating. So it's a generic image, but someone sees this, they see, and if it's a woman, they see this and they have tension or neck pain or headaches, this is going to relate to them. They're going to be able to relate to that image very, very quickly. And so you can see here what the images look like. You can actually create multiple ads at the same time if you wanted to. Let me show you another one that I used for a long time. Still use this actually. This is when I had my long shaggy hair. And so this is a picture of me doing a sham adjustment on one of my staff. And this image outperformed every other image by far, even though it looks kind of silly, but it did the best by far. So this is what I recommend all of my clients do as well. Take a picture of yourself doing a sham adjustment. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one. As far as the text, so I'm going to go ahead and put the text in there. All right, so we've got some copying real quick. Let me go back to the image. So right here, if you click on this, you can actually crop the image and make sure whatever you want to be seen is on there. I'm just going to crop that a little bit, leave that right there. And then you can see right here what it's going to look like on the mobile news feed. And if I click the arrow, it's going to show me what it's going to look like on a phone. So I set this one up for mobile. I'll show you in a little bit what you can do for desktop. So I've got my copy in here. So this is the exact copy I would recommend you use. So the first part of the copy is the attention grabber, or the interrupt, right? So we want to engage with people the same way as if we were trying to talk to them on the street. So it's, hey Annapolis, or hey attention. I'm sure you've seen ads like this before, but these work. So saying attention works really well. Another thing that you can do is add emojis. And so there's a website called getemoji.com. And so inside the website, I'm going to open this up in a new link. You can see what I'm talking about. So inside of the emoji website, you can actually go in and search and copy different emojis. So it's kind of fun. So if you wanted to just type in whatever you want, smiling face, eyes, whatever, you select. And you can use this for everything in all your Facebook posts as well, social media posts. And then you'll just copy it. And then I could go back if I wanted and create a little bit more fun in my post, get a little bit more attention. They're not necessarily required. They're going to do really well. It's all about the offer, but the more attention you can bring to the offer, the better, of course. So you can add little emojis in there. You can add emojis down here in the headline as well, pretty much everywhere. So it kind of creates a little bit of fun with it, a little bit more lighthearted, but again, the emojis are showing more and more that they're converting because more and more people are drawn to them, they're attracted to them, they do like them. So crop your image. Don't worry about the links. You're going to be sending them to another website, so you want to keep that one selected. Here's the text and the copy that I recommend using. There are a couple different ones I can share. I'll try to screenshot some of them and put them into this course. The headline, I typically just grab the $sign and put that out front and then run the same exact copy. And this works really well. So this is what they're going to see. You're going to end up putting in the URL, the website domain. We'll use a URL shortener for this though. And then leave learn more. So learn more and get offer both perform well. I usually leave it with learn more and it does just fine. As far as display link optional, you can usually leave this alone. It's not going to mess with anything. And then the newsfeed link description, same thing. Most of the time what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste. All right, so we've got the ad pretty much good to go. We've got the image selected. We want a single image. You can do carousel, basically is when you select multiple images and you can set up the timing sequence. 2 seconds is a good place, but like I said, most of the time a single image is going to be just fine. You're not going to need to do multiple images or video. If you do decide to branch out and you want to create video, they do really well, especially if you're doing an introductory video, you're introducing yourself. You're basically scripting the same exact copy, the offer. Just so you know, this text that is here has been tested and tested and tested. This is sales copy. This is not just random organization. The way it's set up, the way it's worded, the way everything is in place, there's a reason for it. So this is really important to make sure you set it up exactly like this, okay? So when you get your URL, you're going to put that here. You're also going to make sure you replace it right here in the offer. You want to copy and put it right there, okay? The headline, you're reiterating the offer, but it's going to be this part right here. So this is the headline. Learn more is a great button to use. The other option that you can use is get offer. Both of them are great. I don't think one performs better than another in any scenario I've ran. As far as advanced options, so display link optional. You don't have to mess with this. What it's going to do is it's going to take your URL and it's going to basically place it in here. I'm going to show you how to make custom URLs so you have a good looking URL that's catchy and draws interest. The newsfeed link description. So this is just emphasizing people why should it is. So this is another hook. You could put a hook in here. What a lot of times you can do in here is you can put limited, I don't know what that was, limited availability um, 27 vouchers left, right? Because what we're going to be basically doing is offering a voucher. So this creates a little bit of urgency, a little call to action. This is going to get people to get up and move quicker, right? On the mobile newsfeed, you don't see it. On the desktop, you will. Okay. Don't have to worry about tags or view tags, URL parameters, anything like that. That conversion tracking, the pixel is going to be set up, and that's it. So this is your Facebook ad for your offer. There are other offers I'll show you. I'll include for free consultation. So for those of you that don't want to do a discounted offer, one of the things I will say though, when it comes to running discounted offers, there is nothing wrong with it. So a lot of people want to argue with me, and I've had these conversations before. But if you understand marketing, if you understand how to create value, and you understand a value ladder in business, it's actually genius to create offers on the front end that are exceeding in value. And what that does is it draws more people in, and then it allows you to sell them later on your other products. You can upsell them on your actual product and service. People aren't dumb. They know that this is a promotional offer. It says it's actually a promotion. We're doing something really awesome to promote our clinic. They know that this is not a normal fee. They know that this is an offer. They understand that your normal fees are not $29. So you're not devaluing your service. You're not devaluing the profession. You're creating an opportunity for someone to come in and experience your service, your product. They come in the door, and then you're able to sell them on your products and services by creating value, by creating an experience. And then it's up to you to close the deal and close the patient on your services. And so whether however you decide to run your practice, that's up to you. I know a lot of people will do this types of offers to bring people in and then close them on big care plans. I do not do care plans in my practice. We do fee per visit services. It doesn't matter what you do. Getting people in the door is marketing, and that's what I'm here to show you how to do. So creating offers for a low price to get people in the door, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that in my opinion. You're getting more people exposed to your products or services. You're getting more people in your community knowing who you are. You're getting your name out there, and it's becoming more and more accepted for even professionals, regardless of what people think, to do promotional offers. So chiropractors, dentists, attorneys, medical doctors, private practice, pediatricians, everybody's doing promotional offers now. The ones that are doing well are anyway. And so there's nothing wrong with it. I encourage you to consider it. If you don't want to give away anything, you can go with a free consultation offer. You'll get people in. It just won't do as well. It is what it is. You're not going to get as many patients. Your ROI won't be as good, and your costs will be higher. But that's up to you and how you decide to want to run your offers. We've had extremely great results running offers like this. Now, one of the things you can do is if you want to turn on the fire hose and get a bunch of people in, you can set this price at $19 or $29. As you get your patient base up and you want to still continue with drip marketing, you can take this fee and change it from $19 or $29 to $39, $49, or $59. And we do this as well, and we've had great success. We don't get as many, but they're very qualified, and it still allows us to get more people in the door, automated marketing. And so yeah, those are just some ideas you can do. I'll include, again, some screenshots of copy for how to do a free consultation, what that copy looks like. And that's it. So that's your first Facebook ad. Now, if I wanted to confirm this, right, so I've got everything built out, it's ready to go. Saying I have an error, it's because I don't have my URL in. But once I get all this on the back, and so let me just going to use one of the URLs I already have, just so I can finish the ad. Like I said, this is why you want to create the funnel first, because you need that URL. But now I can actually complete the campaign. So you have to have an acting, real URL. So I'm going to confirm that. All right, so we've got our campaign that we just built right here. It's in review, so Facebook has to review it and go through it, make sure everything meets their standards. The copy and the images that I just showed you are going to go through just fine. And once this comes out of review, the ad will start running right away. If you wanted to wait and put it on pause, excuse me, you can just come over here and select this little slide bar and it's going to turn it off. Now, because before I showed you how to, you could run ads on mobile or desktop, or you could target men or women or both, I want to show you the easiest way to set it up to where you can make sure your budget is equally spent. Again, if you run your ads and you bring your ad sets and you do men and women and you do mobile and desktop all in one ad set, Facebook's going to decide for you sometimes too early where it's showing your ads, and so you won't get really good data. So what you can do is you can create a duplicate. All right, so we've got the campaign that just we created. So we've got the campaign here. I can tell it's selected. So I'm going to go to the ad set. Now, if I wanted to create separate ad sets to target mobile for one and desktop for another, or men in one and women for another, this is how I can do it. So I go into that campaign that I just created, go to the ad set, and then I'm going to duplicate the ad set. I want to use the original campaign. All right, and so now I've got two ad sets within one campaign. So I've got one campaign that we created. I duplicated the ad set. So this is, again, the targeting. So what I can do is I can rename the first one. So if I were doing this out of the gate, I could say men. And then I could rename this one women. So now I can split my budget of $30 into $15 each. All right, so I've created two ad sets for men and women. So I've got basically the same exact thing. So now I need to make sure I go in and edit them and make sure that they are doing what I want them to do. So for the Annapolis men, I'm going to go edit. You're going to get this little window right here is going to slide over. All right, so I'm going to go to the audience. I'm going to hit edit. And now I'm going to change this specific campaign to target men. And so I can actually rename, create a new audience. And then I'm just going to select men. You'll see my potential reach change up here. And then I could go to the bottom and hit save as new. Save the audience, so I made it men. So now this is my chiropractic campaign targeting men only, and again, then hit publish. So you always make sure you hit publish, otherwise it's going to save it in draft, and so the ad will not run. And so that's pretty much it. You can do the same exact thing for targeting mobile versus desktop. One of the things I would recommend doing if you do a split test between mobile and desktop, make sure you go in and review what the ad's going to look like on desktop in the ad section, so you can make sure the image is cropped appropriately. So the images on desktop are slightly different than mobile. So you just want to make sure the image is formatted correctly, but otherwise everything looks pretty good. Another little tip too is on the ads themselves, you want to always try to have a link on that first window. So where the ad copy sits, as someone reads that ad copy, within that ad copy there should be a link. For whatever reason, some people are prone to click on links inside the copy, and some people are prone to click on the button. By having both, you increase your chances of conversions. So you definitely want to create a link in the actual copy and the text, and then also make sure that the button is attached to the URL as well. So it's the same link, it's going to the same page, but you're putting the link in the text and also attached to the button. So again, for whatever reason, some people are more prone to click on one versus the other, so you want to make sure that you cast a wider net there. And that's pretty much it. So that's how you set up your ad campaigns. Once everything comes out of review, Facebook will start turning them on, and you'll start to see traffic. You're going to start to see impressions and reach first, and then as people start to opt in, you're going to start to get leads. The columns that I use to be able to break down my my analysis is I like to use performance and clicks. So this is my preferred way to look at my data. This allows me to look at my results, how many leads I've got, the cost per lead, which is going to be your most important data point, how much you're spending on your budget, how much you've spent so far on your campaign, and then as you scroll down to the end, you get your cost per click and your click-through rate. And so click-through rate is basically for 1,000 people that see your ads, how many of them clicked on the link, and then cost per click is how much it costs you every time someone clicks on the link itself. So those are numbers you want to kind of keep an eye on. keep in mind the numbers in this window will reflect this right here. So whatever date range you've got selected is what's going to reflect down here. So if you've been running your campaign for a month or two and you select a wide date range, the data is going to be spread out as a cumulative. If you select a smaller date range, it's more recent, it's going to be more accurate to what you've been spending more recently. So those are reflective. Another thing you can do is look at the actual the graphs. Show you what that looks like. So on your campaign, once you get some traffic going, you can look at view charts. And so inside the view charts, you're going to get basically a little graph. It's going to give you a lot of different metrics you can look at, everything from your overall performance, demographics, so who's seeing your ad. So this is the men and the women in the age range. And then you've got, so you can see I target women, and placement. So placement's going to be desktop, mobile, Instagram, etc. And so you can see everything I run is on Facebook. I don't mess with anything else. And it's just for this date range right here. So if I change that date range, it's going to change the graph. All right, so we got 3 leads today, $10 a lead, not too bad, especially for a Monday. A lot of times you'll find during the week, things are a little slower. On the weekends, things pick up. But it just depends on your market, how saturated it is, how many other people are running offers and ads. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the inside of Facebook. As far as building out a campaign from scratch, I'll include a screenshot of the free consultation offer and what the copy looks like, but the setup's the exact same. And so that's it. Hopefully you guys got all that. Go back and watch this video a couple times. Make sure that you don't miss any steps, and you'll have a really high performing ad at the end of this, and you'll be ready to go. And then from here, we're going to go into, I'm going to show you the pixel real quick as far as what a pixel is and where you go to get those settings. And from there, we'll be able to go in and install the pixel on the landing pages that we're going to be going and setting up. And the reason why we want to do that is we want to be able to track the activity. We want to see when people click on the ad, they go to the landing page, how many of them are converting and signing up, how many people are landing and leaving. It gives us a lot of useful data to see where people are falling off. All right, see you in the next video.